Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. This is your Business Morning live here on Channels Television. We're live to you from Lagos, Nigeria's financial epicenter. Let's get Wednesday's business briefing up and running. Within the next 1 hour, we're expecting President Muhammadu Buhari to present the 2019 budget appropriations details to the legislature, the joint sitting of the upper and lower houses. That's from 11 o'clock local time. We're live to you from the Channels Television. We're covering this budget presentation. That's the final one for President Buhari's administration until next year. February elections and the handing over next May. So this budget is very, very crucial. This is President Buhari's transition budget. He inherited one from the Jonathan's administration. Now he's preparing one which will take Nigeria to the next period of political 4-year tenure. So that's a very critical one everyone is looking at. The size of the budget, as you already know, will be a bit smaller than that of 2018 size. So you need to keep that in mind. So we're covering that from 11 o'clock live at the National Assembly. We'll be doing a couple of analysis here and from the National Assembly with our correspondents there are covering both upper and lower houses. So keep that in mind. A very robust coverage of Nigeria's 2019 budget live here on Channels Television. You can catch us online, www.channelstv.com. If you're online, you can catch that. And of course, you can watch some of it later on our youtube.com/channelsweb. All of that today, tomorrow, and Friday as well. This is one big economic story. Meantime, the budget presentation is holding amidst days of sit-out by National Assembly aides protesting unpaid salaries and allowances. But today's budget is very, very important as well because we have a major problem on our hands. And of course, you already know, maybe you don't know, but this is what the problem is. The Budget Office Chief, Ben Akabweze, cried out yesterday over what he calls huge shortfall recorded by revenue-generating government agencies with a headline figure of unremitted monies of 2.3 trillion naira between January of 2015 and August of 2018. According to the Budget Office, about 50 government agencies are yet to remit their operating surpluses, estimated at 2 trillion naira. And, of course, we can't list everyone. But some of those who are owing the big chunk of this money include NECO, that's the National Examination Council, Nigerian Television Authority, the Postal Service, NEMASA, that's the agency responsible for Maritime and Space Agency, Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, the Shippers Council, the Pension Commission, the National Insurance House, the Health Insurance Operator, the NHS, the CAC, that's the Corporate Affairs Commission, the Standard Organization of Nigeria, NAMA, and a few other agencies. That's according to the budget chief. But why is it very troubling is this. This is what Dr. Ben Akabweze was reportedly saying, that despite over 40 trillion naira that the federal government has invested in these agencies, what is usually remitted to the treasury in terms of dividends or surpluses at the end of each operating year is mostly insignificant. Okay. Put that in your inbox, then listen to another very sad story. What's the story? Or the palaver over the promissory notes. So the government does not have all the cash to pay the oil marketers and contractors. So we'll try to give you the background here. So the government issues what you call promissory notes, which is a form of an IOU that the government gives you and says we're going to pay you at a later date. That's what a promissory note is. It's just a promise, really, that we're going to pay you at a later date, the amount that is written on that piece of paper given to you. So the federal government is owing what you call the legacy debts of contractors that did some job for the federal government, but had been paid by the state governments. So the government wants to pay the state governments back the money which they've paid the contractors. It's as simple as that, but it doesn't look very simple. So President Buhari has written the Senate, accusing the National Assembly of inflating the naira value of those promissory notes of 487 billion naira. The promissory notes were okayed by the Federal Executive Council, what you call the cabinet, for those reimbursement of federal government's contractual debts to state governments. Now, what are the allegations by the executive against the legislature? So follow the money with me. The National Assembly was accused of inflating this figure by additional 890.537 million naira. In other words, they padded it, according to allegations from the presidency. The National Assembly padded it, the amount, by 890, almost a billion naira. That's the first allegation against the National Assembly. And second, which are contained, of course, in the letter sent to the Senate by the Office of the President. The second was that the legislators excluded 4 state governments, Bauchi, Delta, Kogi, and Taraba states, from the list of the 25 state governments that were approved by the government for those reimbursements via promissory notes. Number 3, they also approved payments to 17 state governments higher than the figure that were verified by the Bureau of Public Procurement. Okay, so those reimbursements via promissory notes and bond issuances, of course, you said, are legacy debts of the Buhari's administration, or that the administration is currently taking care of. And those debts were collated and verified by the Bureau of Public Procurement under the Procurement Act of 2007. All of this will be part of our conversations today, tomorrow, and days ahead about the state of Nigeria's economy and some of the reasons why the Buhari's administration is finding it difficult to have enough revenue, which has been pointed out by almost everyone here and around the world. Meantime, today we're expecting the National Bureau of Statistics to release their labor report. We expect later in the week to get our oil and gas data, the PMS, automotive gas, and all of that report to be out tomorrow, Thursday, the 20th. They will have the selected food prices, telecommunications data, transport data watch on Friday. So it's going to be very heavy from today till Friday on the economic data front. All of that we're squeezing together to give you what you call an intelligence business briefing here on Channels Television. Great. So Access Bank and Diamond Bank plans to go for a corporate merger in 2019. Perhaps help the stock market make a bit of a decent comeback on Tuesday. The banking sector added about 0.5% to give the all share index a bit of a clawback, 0.7%, about 0.75%. But we're still below some of the true psychological levels this year. 32,000 we're not there. We're looking at perhaps we can get 31,000 back before December the 31st. At the NASD over-the-counter market, it was also a very big rally. On Tuesday, about 1.3% gain. The USI came back well above 700 reading. Meantime, at the secondary window for treasuries, investors took a lot more active interest in short-dated treasuries. All of that will be part of what Temple Ashaju is talking about from the Nigerian Stock Exchange, where he's standing by our business correspondent. Temple, bright and early. Good morning.